Hey everybody, how's it going today? Currently, while developing React Native applications, you might want to plug into the native API of your targeted operating system. For example, in some cases, you would want to use a library that's available for Kotlin or for Swift, but it's not really available for React Native. So in this case, you would have to write your own binding so that you can use that module within React Native. So now that you know the importance of native modules, let's now discuss the project that we're going to build. We'll just build a simple Kotlin module that will give the current battery level of the user's Android device. So let's get started. So let's first create a project. To create a project, I go npx create -expo-app at latest and then the name of my project. So I'll just do native beginner tutorial. And now we wait. Alright, now we're done here. Now I'll reopen this project in VS Code. Okay, so with VS Code open, let's try to create our first module. So to build a module, I go npx create -expo-module and then at latest, and we want our native module to integrate within our application. So I go --local. Let's just enter the name of the module. I call it Expo battery because I want to get the battery information. The native module name, Expo battery, is fine. Package name is also okay. And now we wait. Okay, so it has built an Expo module within modules /Expo battery. So let's look at the project directory for a bit. So Android, of course, contains the code for Android specific code. The same applies for iOS. And the src directory or the source directory is for our JavaScript or TypeScript bindings. So anyways, let's go to Android /src/java. So let's build our first function. Here I'll go to Expo battery module, and looking around, we can see that we already have a few functions, a few async functions, and a few constants defined for us. Let's try creating our own function. So I go here, let's say function. And I want to create a function that gets the battery level. So get battery level and then curly braces, so a function within Kotlin. And I just found a little article that can give me Kotlin code to get the battery level. So let's adapt this code for our application. So first of all, looking at the code, we need an application context. However, Expo doesn't really define the application context, so we may need to define our own context. So to create a context, I go above this line, private val context, new line, and then get equals require not null app context dot react context. Next, we may need to also fix our imports. So I need to import the context package. So import android.content.context. So let's scroll down. For our function here, we can just define a dummy value for now. So I'll go return at function. So return a value. For now, let's just do 2. Okay. Our next step here would be to create a binding for our function. To do so, I'm going to go to expo battery module.ts. And here it's really simple. So here we have all of our bindings defined. So I'll create a new line and then my new function. So in this case, it's get battery level. I'll copy this. Get battery level does not really accept a parameter. So parenthesis, and then it returns a number. That's it. Okay, moving on. Let's now try to use our battery module within our React Native code. So I'll go to app, tabs, and then let's use this function within index.tsx. All of this is boilerplate code. I'll just remove most of it. So we don't want parallax scroll view. Let's just do view React Native, and then let me remove all of this. Let me remove all of this as well. We don't need any of this. View here as well. Okay, and then we create a text. So text from the React Native package. This is a text. And then let's try running this project. Here, since we're using a native module, we cannot use Expo Go. So we can run it with Android. So I'll go npx expo run and then the Android version. and then let's run it. Okay, so now as you can see, my project is running. Basically, it's an empty screen. I know why. So to fix it, we can go save area view. Let me remove this and then save area view again. This is done to accommodate for my notch on my screen, and then text style, let's do a white color. So now we have it appearing, and then a font size of 18, so a bit bigger. Now it's fine. And now let's use our get battery level function. So since we have already created a binding, we can simply store the battery level in a variable. So to get the battery level, we just go const battery level, so a variable, and then expo battery module dot get battery level. And for now, what we can do is let's just put it here within our text tag, current battery level, and then battery level. So it should be 2. Nice. Let's now try writing more code to actually get the current battery level. So I go to expo battery module .kt, and then within my get battery level function, and then within the get battery level function, let's go to the reference code and let's use this. Let me just copy this like so. I put it here, and then let me just copy this as well. And at the end, we don't want to return 2, we want to return bat level. Okay, so double checking the code, battery service is going to give us an error because we haven't defined it anywhere. It's not really battery service, it's context.battery service. And battery manager, we haven't imported this module. So I'll go here, I'll import android.os.battery manager, and then scrolling down. Okay, so far it's fine. Let's test it out. So let me refresh. I press R in the terminal and let's see if it gives me the current value. Okay, so something went wrong here. My battery level says 94%, but it's giving 2 here. This is because native code is not rebuilt even after refreshing the app. We would have to build this application from scratch. So I close the server. Let me clear it. And then to rebuild the app, I go npx expo run android. Okay, so we got an error here. Let's see what's the problem. So we haven't defined application context. Let me double check. Okay, so I made an error here. I didn't adapt the code for Expo. So we have a context. Instead of application context, it's just context. Now let's build it again. Clear and then npx expo run android. So it built successfully. After rebuilding, let's see if we get the correct value. Great. As you can see, our code worked. So that's it for today. In this really short video, you guys learned the basics of building native modules in Expo in React Native. In a future video, I'll dive deeper into native module concepts. If you have any suggestions or any feedback for me, let me know in the comment section below. Till then, bye bye.